Welcome to The Explainer. We often think of legacy as this grand thing we'll build in the future. But what if your legacy isn't about some future plan at all? What if it's being built right now in the small, unseen choices you make every single day?
So let's start with a question that really gets to the heart of this. We're kind of taught that legacy is all about one big defining moment. But if that's not true, then where does a lasting impact actually come from?
Well, it doesn't come from the big, public speeches we make, or those perfectly crafted mission statements we put up on a wall.
It's not forged in the moments that grab the world's attention, the promotions or the public awards. And it definitely isn't defined by those singular, monumental acts of greatness, the kind you see in movies. The real story, it's much quieter and a whole lot more consistent than that. Okay, so if legacy isn't built on all those big, showy things, where is it built? The answer, it turns out, is in completely reframing how we think about legacy. We need to shift our focus from the huge and dramatic to the everyday.
See, the myth is that legacy is something you deliberately design, like it's a project you work on. But the reality is that it's an unconscious byproduct of your daily habits. It's what you do when you're on autopilot.
And when you look at the science, a habit is just that, an automatic response you perform without even thinking about it. And this is so key. It means your legacy isn't built on your good intentions. It's built on the actions you take when you're not even paying attention.
So how in the world do these automatic habits become your story? Let's explore how these seemingly tiny actions actually stack up over time to write the entire narrative of who you are.
I mean, just think about it. People don't really remember one-off events nearly as much as they remember your consistent patterns. They remember how you usually handle pressure, how you treat people on a bad day, and yeah, what you did when you thought no one was looking. These patterns, they literally become your personal brand.
And this isn't just some nice idea either. Behavioral science totally confirms it. It's the small, incremental changes that lead to real, sustainable outcomes. In other words, what you repeat becomes your reputation. So the most crucial point is this. The things you do over and over and over again are what ultimately define you. It's not about being great ones. It's about being consistently good or fair or kind.
This brings us to a really critical idea. Your legacy is defined way more by what you do than by what you say. And when we look at what people actually hope to be remembered for, the answer is just crystal clear.
This data just says it all about what truly matters to us. A massive survey found that a staggering 70% of people want to be remembered for the relationships and the memories they shared. Now compare that to just 9% who said their career achievements.
And to put an even finer point on it, when people were asked to define a life well lived, an overwhelming 94% said it was about having friends and family who loved them. Not fame, not titles, but human connection.
And in stark contrast, only 10%, just 10%, defined it by how much money they had. This tells us everything we need to know. The legacy we actually value is built in our relationships, not on our resumes. And those relationships, they're shaped in these quiet little moments of choice. When you respond calmly instead of reacting, you teach patience. When you take responsibility instead of blaming, you teach integrity. These are the real, silent lessons that form your legacy. All right, this leads us to our final core idea, the profound and I think often underestimated power of simple, reliable consistency.
I absolutely love this quote because it just nails it. Anyone can have a moment of excellence. It's impressive, for sure. But true, lasting influence, that's built by being reliably good day in and day out.
This is exactly how consistency builds trust. First, you become predictable. People know what to expect from you. Second, you become reliable. They learn they can count on you. And third, you stay the same person, even under stress. That stability creates a kind of psychological safety where other people can thrive.
And let's not forget, legacy is also about what you don't do. What you allow, what you ignore, what you tolerate. That silence is a decision, and it teaches others just as much as your actions do. It sets the real standard.
So you really have to realize that you are shaping a legacy right now, whether you intend to or not. Every single interaction is a lesson being taught. You are already teaching. The real question isn't if, it's what kind of lesson are you teaching?
Your legacy doesn't begin when you decide to start it. It began with the choices you made yesterday, and it continues with the ones you're making today. These small, daily decisions are the ink, quietly writing your story. And that is a story that will be read by everyone you've influenced long after you're gone.